I was at the UK's National Astronomy Meeting a few weeks ago, and there is so much cool science happening, let me tell you about it. The National Astronomy Meeting is the UK's biggest astronomy conference. It moves around every year, and this year it was at Durham University in the north of England. It caters to everyone, with sessions covering the full range of astronomy from exoplanets to galaxies, from instrumentation to cosmology, from star formation to jobs and EDI. Obviously, with this many sessions, I was not going to be able to tell you about everything that's going on at NAM. I couldn't be in every session all of the time, even if I wanted to. So I'm going to tell you about the stuff that really excited me this year, with the caveat that that's going to be more about galaxies and star formation and simulations, rather than exoplanets or telescopes. I was there as a PhD student first, YouTuber second. To start us off, I want to talk to you about galactic outflows. When you look at pictures of galaxies in the media, you tend to see images like these. Grand spiral galaxies that look absolutely gorgeous as a desktop wallpaper. I definitely don't have a galaxy as my desktop wallpaper right now. There are far more interesting galaxies out there though. Galaxies that are actively doing something, like blasting out huge amounts of gas into the universe. These blasts out of gas are called outflows, and there are two main types. AGN outflows, driven by energy released by matter falling onto supermassive black holes, and outflows driven by stellar feedback, being kicked out of the galaxy by energy from stars. That energy can come from either really massive, really bright stars pushing the gas and dust out with pressure from all that light, or through explosions at the end of a star's life, called a supernova. We're lucky that relatively nearby there is a galaxy called M82, which has spectacular stellar-driven outflows. It's really the poster child for the field. And that's a problem. Because it's so easy to study, most of our theoretical models for stellar-driven outflows are informed by M82, one object. This is where a really cool project presented by Bron Reichart-Chu from Durham University comes in. Meet the Duvet Survey, with the wonderful tagline, "We've got you covered." This is a blanket, not a duvet, I know. The point of Duvet is to study at really high resolution other galaxies like M82, which have big bursts of star formation and the associated increase in radiation, and soon after, supernovae, that come along with that. By studying another 27 of these galaxies, they hope to test our theories of stellar-driven outflows, informing the next generation of theoretical models, and more interestingly for me, simulations. Right now, it's looking like stellar-driven outflows might be really important for spreading heavy elements into the gas around galaxies that I study, and that exploding stars, supernovae, might be the main driver of these outflows. Now these outflows, they have to go somewhere, and unless they're really, really powerful, they don't go just, drifting off into the void. No, this gas still tends to be held onto by the galaxy through gravity, something we call being gravitationally bound. When it's kicked up out of the galaxy, it lands in something called the circumgalactic medium. Basically a very big, very thin, but very hot atmosphere around the galaxy. It's actually what I study, and while I did present a talk at NAM, here I am doing that. That's not what we're talking about today. No, we're going to talk about what that gas does in the circumgalactic medium, or the CGM. What it does is that ejected gas mixes with the hot gas in the CGM, getting all stirred up, causing some of the hot gas to cool and form cool clouds. They're like 10,000 degrees Celsius, but the rest of the CGM is like 10 million degrees, so it's cool by comparison. All this is very cool, but it's something we really struggle to simulate well. We make a good attempt, but our resolution in big galaxy simulations leaves a bit to be desired when trying to study these processes that are so small on astronomical terms. This is where work from Rajsekhar Mohapatra from Princeton University in the US comes in. He's working on super high resolution simulations of a chunk of the circumgalactic medium, where instead of being able to simulate a region maybe 3,000 light years across with one gas cell, as I have to, he's simulating that region with a box that is 1,000 gas cells wide. Now, 1 parsec or 3 light year resolution might still sound pretty pants compared to simulations of the atmosphere or the oceans, but the CGM is big and there's not that much gas in any given volume, so this is insanely good resolution. Mohapatra and collaborators have been able to test the effects of different physical processes in these super high resolution boxes, resolutions that those of us that simulate entire galaxies can only dream of. And this might seem, not that useful. It's great to know what happens with some plasma in a box, but we want to know what happens to the galaxy. However, these simulations are just the start. There are loads of aspects of galaxy evolution that happen below the resolution of our simulation. We handle these with what are called subgrid models, approximations for what happens that let us get the effects of a physical process without specifically simulating it. This work in this high-resolution plasma box will help inform new subgrid models for the CGM, letting people like me see how it affects an entire galaxy. Bringing it back to the real universe for a bit, I want to talk about those accreting supermassive black holes that I mentioned earlier, active galactic nuclei, or AGN. They're a bit of a mystery in astrophysics. They seem pretty common, and they seem to happen when there's a load of gas dumped into the centre of a galaxy, perhaps through a merger, perhaps through gas being funneled in by a bar. And they appear to be really important, somehow. Ask a lot of theorists, and they'll say AGN are responsible for ending star formation in galaxies. Ask some others and they'll say, I disagree, we don't even fully know how they're fueled. This fueling issue is what Jacob Elford from Universidad Diego Portales in Chile has been looking into. He's been looking for a link between the gas in the very centre of galaxies and the light given out by AGN. The idea goes that more gas equals more fueling of the AGN equals brighter AGN. Previous studies have seemed to indicate this, however they tend to specifically target really bright, known AGN, rather than working from an independent sample of galaxies. In this work, Elford and collaborators have worked with the Wisdom sample of galaxies, not selected because they have bright AGN, and it looks like there's no real dependence of the light given out by the AGN and the amount of gas in the centre. It's not that simple, sadly. Never is. Trying to explain AGN is something we've been struggling with for a while. How they interact with galaxies is so unclear that there are so many different solutions for how to handle it that get added into new large volume cosmological simulations. In fact, there were 2 new cosmological simulations presented at NAM this year, so I am very excited right now. A cosmological simulation tries to model an entire patch of the universe with loads of galaxies, with a realistic cosmological context. They start with an early universe density distribution that's similar to what we record from the cosmic microwave background, an afterglow of the Big Bang. This then evolves through cosmic time, constructing galaxies and galaxy clusters and doing it all far more realistically than if you tried to build a galaxy in a box. Like I said, 2 of these simulations were introduced on the Friday of the National Astronomy Meeting. One called Kiara and one called Colibri. Kiara, led by astronomers at the University of Edinburgh, is the successor to the Simba simulation, which was a successor to Mufasa. Kiara is Simba's daughter, so they're continuing the theme. But where Simba was a sort of incremental step forward from Mufasa, Kiara is a revolution. It's got a whole new computational engine, stellar feedback, which we talked about earlier, is massively improved, as is the AGN feedback, which is very different to other simulations in its implementation. There's a better chemistry, and the galaxy disks are modelled way better. And it's an exciting time, because Colibri has very similar advancements to Kiara. Colibri is led by teams at Durham University in England and Leiden University in the Netherlands, and it's also a successor to a previous simulation. Colibri means hummingbird. It's the successor to eagle, which was a successor to owls. Yet simulators like a theme. Like Kiara, Colibri is also much better at modelling galaxy disks, and the chemistry and the AGN are also massively improved, though different to Kiara on the AGN front. I can't tell you too much about either of these simulations yet, because we just got teasers of them. But these next couple of years are going to be really exciting times to be in computational galaxy evolution. Which fortunately is exactly where I am. Now, I hope I've been able to give you a taste of some of the things that are going on in mostly UK astronomy at the moment. I love conferences, and NAM was no exception. There's something exhilarating about spending a week talking about science with people who are just as excited about it as you are. That being said, conferences can be exhausting and difficult to learn how to get the most out of. Good news!
The Dacia Sandero?
No! I'm making a video about this in the next couple of weeks, talking about how I get the most out of a conference without being too much of a puzzle by the end of it. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. If you've enjoyed this video and want to support what I do, why not come join the Patreon, where for only £3 a month you get early access to videos, and for £5 a month an exclusive behind the scenes vlog and your name in the video. Patrons help me do what I do, so thank you for your support so much. If you're looking for something else to watch, there is some recommended viewing on screen now. Make sure you do the YouTube pleasantries on your way out. Thank you very much for watching again, and I will see you in the next one.